Wow, it's time for another show full of tips and ideas from the sales growth leadership expert, Dean Akers. Known for his experience in hyper-growing companies and creating cultures for high-performance teams, here's Dean.
Well, welcome to episode 50. Today's going to be a fun one. This is going to be especially for outside salespeople that are working a territory. These would be people that are getting in their car, calling on customers within some range of distance from wherever they're located. This one came true to me again. These weeks that I'm out and about is where it really comes into play. And today's episode is called Get Off the Interstate. I can tell you, having been in outside sales for a long time, this is a true near and dear to heart technique I've been using. So I'm going to tell you some stories today. And what the gist of this is that we get in routines. And I'm going to ask each one of you as you listen in, are you in a routine? Do you get in your car? Do you drive the same roads to your office? If you're calling on one of your big accounts, do you always go that same road to their account? Where this comes into play is a couple stories. One was me personally back when I was early in sales and I had 6 counties. And it was easy to ride the main highways. And so one day I decided to take a diversion and I just turned off this random road. It was a county road, so it wasn't a dead end road. And as I weaved back and through the hills of Lake County, I came up onto this site, huge site, full of construction equipment. And it was a huge peat bog that I had never heard of, and come to find out nobody in our company had ever heard of. So I turned in, went down, introduced myself. They said they didn't need anything, but they now were a client on my tick list or my PV list, and I knew they had a lot of equipment. So they became part of a customer I started calling on. In this case, over the next 6 or 8 months, as I called on them, they did not buy the kinds of equipment I wanted to sell because they bought a competitor's. However, they needed a piece of equipment we did sell that was unique, which was a peat shredder, and I ended up getting a sale for a peat shredder, and then subsequently through my relationships did much more business with them. So by going off route, getting off my beaten path, I stumbled onto a company that was nowhere on my radar or a company's radar. And it became a profitable company for me as a salesperson in commissions, and in turn a profitable company for my company. Recently, about 8 years ago, I was riding with a salesperson with a company that was in the crane industry. And he and I were getting ready, this was down in South Florida, we were getting ready to go from Miami up into the Fort Lauderdale area. And so as we were riding in his car, he started headed to get on to I-95, which is the northwest kind of corridor for that area. And right before he got to the interstate, I said, whoa, stop. Let's take another road up. And he goes, well, we need to get on the interstate. And I said, do we have a specific appointment? He goes, no. I said, so an extra 20 or 30 minutes or whatever going up some other roads wouldn't impact us getting to where we want to be and losing an appointment. He goes, oh, okay, you're right. So we started up this literally 6-lane road. I don't remember what road it was in the Dade Broward area. But we're riding up the road. We come to a stoplight. And we're sitting at the stoplight, and I look to the right, and oversitting in this parking lot was a whole slew of big rooftop air conditioners. And then a little bit further, they were remodeling or building a Walmart. So I looked at the sales guy, and I looked over at him, and I go, do you notice anything odd here? And he goes, what? I go, you see all those air conditioners? You think they're going to hop up on the building? And he started laughing. So I said, turn in. So we turned in, and we met this company that was out of our area. We walked into the job site trailer, and the woman that was in there, we started talking to her. She was a secretary for the job site trailer. Found out she'd been with the company 20 years. Again, in other stories, I've told you that when you find a gatekeeper that's been there that long, guess what you know? They know everything. So we took up conversation with her. Next thing we know, that they don't have a crane supplier for that region to set all these air conditioners. Long story short, we continued to call on them. We got the contract to set all the air conditioners on this particular Walmart, but more importantly, we built a client because they did Walmarts all over the state, and we are a statewide company. So through getting off the interstate and going up a random road, we made a random cold call on somebody we had never met that didn't know us, didn't have a current supplier, and we were able to turn them into a customer. Also, years ago in the tire business, I was over in Polk County and did the same thing. Got off the main drag and found a large trucking company our company had never heard of. Over the next ensuing months, through relationships that we've shared in previous shows, I was able to build a relationship strong enough to get their business. So why am I telling you all these stories? I'm telling you all these stories so that if you're out and about today in sales and you're in a business that is calling on different types of customers, it's really incumbent on you to get off the beaten path. Mix your routes up. Stop by and cold call places randomly. You will be shocked at how this will impact your business. If you're in sales management, get in the car with your salesperson. Ride to their clients. While you're riding, tell them to take a right or a left down a random road and make some cold calls. It will change your world. So drive different routes, get off the interstate, get out there, make those cold calls, and let me know. Remember, let me know at dean@deanacres.com if your success is happening. And again, I totally appreciate everybody that reaches out to me every week and gives me their stories of success and stories of challenges that help us develop what we're going to talk about. But in this case, I want all of you to get off the interstate.
We hope you enjoyed this week's show. Subscribe today to our podcast and send questions or thoughts to help@deanacres.com. Also, visit us at www.deanacres.com to listen to prior shows and view helpful videos. Also, great tips to download. Thanks again. See you next week.